Your heart is pounding so hard you can feel it in your throat. Your hands are shaking uncontrollably. You try to get out of bed, but your legs feel like jelly. The room is spinning. You're confused, disoriented, can't quite remember where you put your glucose meter. You stumble to the kitchen, nearly falling twice, and grab the first sweet thing you can find, orange juice. You drink it straight from the carton, desperately waiting for the shaking to stop, for your brain to start working again. This is the third time this month, the third time you've woken up in the middle of the night feeling like you're dying. And every single time, it's the same terrifying thought running through your mind. What if I don't wake up next time? What if this happens when I'm driving? What if I'm alone and can't get help? You sit at the kitchen table, waiting for the juice to kick in, waiting for your blood sugar to come back up, and you feel that familiar wave of shame wash over you. You did everything right yesterday. You took all your medications exactly as prescribed. You didn't eat anything you weren't supposed to. You walked for 30 minutes like the doctor said. So why is this happening? Why can't you get this under control? The next morning, you test your blood sugar. 180. Still too high. After a night of near death from low blood sugar, you wake up with high blood sugar. It makes no sense. Nothing makes any sense anymore. You take your morning pills, the same ones you've been taking for years, and you wonder if you're going to spend the rest of your life on this terrifying roller coaster. High blood sugar one moment, dangerously low the next, never stable, never safe, never knowing when the next episode will hit. You look at your medication bottles lined up on the counter, little soldiers that are supposed to be protecting you, but lately it feels like they're attacking you instead. You've gained 15 pounds since you started this particular medication 3 years ago. 15 pounds you didn't need, that make everything harder, that make your knees hurt and your back ache. Your doctor keeps telling you to lose weight, to eat less, to exercise more. But how are you supposed to do that when you're exhausted all the time? When you're terrified to exercise because last time you did, your blood sugar dropped so fast you almost passed out on the sidewalk? You sit down with your coffee. No sugar, no cream. Just bitter black coffee, because that's what you're allowed now. And you think about your friend from church. She had diabetes too, took the same medications you're taking, and last year she had a heart attack. Survived, thank God, but she's never been the same. And your neighbor, the one who used to walk his dog every morning, he's gone now. Diabetes complications, they said. Kidney failure. He was only 68. And here you are, 63, watching your blood sugar numbers get worse instead of better, watching your medication list get longer instead of shorter, feeling your body get weaker instead of stronger. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, is feeling like it's your fault. Like if you just had more willpower, more discipline, more strength, you could fix this. But what if I told you it might not be your fault at all? What if the very thing you're doing every single day, the choice that seems so logical, so healthy, so right, is actually the thing that's sabotaging your entire diabetes management? What if doctors and health experts have been giving you advice that works for younger people, but actually makes things worse for anyone over 60? There's a common choice that millions of people with diabetes make every single day, a choice that's been promoted as healthy for decades, a choice that seems to make perfect sense on the surface, but new research is revealing something shocking. For people over 60, this choice can actually worsen blood sugar control, increase dangerous episodes of hypoglycemia, accelerate muscle loss, and even increase mortality risk. Today, you're going to discover what that choice is, why it's so dangerous specifically for older adults with diabetes, and most importantly, what you should be doing instead. Because you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to have information that can actually help you instead of hurt you. Look, I know this journey with diabetes has been incredibly difficult for you. I know you've tried so many things. You've followed so much advice. You've made so many sacrifices. You've given up foods you love. You've forced yourself to do things you don't enjoy. And despite all that effort, all that discipline, all that trying, your numbers still aren't where they should be. You feel frustrated. You feel defeated. You feel like maybe you're just destined to get worse no matter what you do. I understand that feeling deeply, and that's exactly why this channel exists. Here, you're going to find information that goes beyond the standard advice that clearly isn't working for everyone. Information based on the latest research, explained in a way that makes sense, focused on what actually works for people in your situation. Every week, I bring new content about diabetes management strategies that are specifically designed for older adults, not just generic advice that treats everyone the same. Because what works for a 30-year-old with diabetes doesn't necessarily work for someone who's 65. Your body is different. Your needs are different. Your risks are different. And you deserve advice that recognizes that. If you want access to this kind of information every week, subscribe to this channel right now and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any new videos that could make a real difference in your health and your quality of life. You're not alone in this battle. Here, we're building a community of people who support each other, who share experiences, who fight together for better health despite living with diabetes. You deserve to have the right information to take care of your health in the best way possible. Let's walk this journey together. Now, pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Right now in the United States, there are over 15 million people over the age of 60 living with type 2 diabetes. Of those, approximately 73% are following a specific dietary approach they believe is helping them control their blood sugar. That approach is eating frequent, small meals throughout the day. 6 small meals instead of 3 regular ones. Constant snacking between meals to keep blood sugar stable. Never going more than a few hours without eating. This advice has been standard for decades. The logic seems sound. Eat smaller amounts more frequently, your blood sugar won't spike as high. Prevent blood sugar from dropping too low by eating every few hours. Keep your metabolism running by constantly providing fuel. But here's what the research is now showing. For people over 60, especially those taking certain diabetes medications, this approach does more harm than good. And the reasons are shocking. Studies published in the last 3 years in journals like Cell Metabolism and Diabetes Care show something alarming. Older adults who eat frequent small meals have worse glycemic control, higher average blood sugar over 24 hours, more episodes of reactive hypoglycemia, and accelerated loss of muscle mass compared to those who eat fewer, larger meals. Let me say that again. Eating more frequently, which you've been told is the right thing to do, is actually making your diabetes worse. And here's the number that should terrify you. People over 60 with diabetes who eat 6 or more times per day have a 41% higher risk of severe hypoglycemic episodes requiring emergency intervention, compared to those who eat 3 times per day. 41%. That's almost half again as much risk. Risk of passing out, risk of seizures, risk of car accidents, risk of death. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening inside your body when you eat frequently throughout the day. Every time you eat something, anything, even a small snack, your body has to produce insulin to handle it. If you're eating 6 times a day, your body is producing insulin 6 times a day. Your insulin levels never really drop. They stay elevated constantly. And here's the problem. Constant insulin elevation causes insulin resistance. Your cells start ignoring insulin because it's always there. It's like if someone kept yelling at you all day long. Eventually, you'd stop listening. That's exactly what your cells do with insulin when it's constantly present. So your body has to produce even more insulin to get the same effect. This creates a vicious cycle. More insulin leads to more resistance. More resistance requires more insulin. And for someone over 60, this is catastrophic. Because as you age, your pancreas naturally loses some of its ability to produce insulin. You start with less capacity, and you're forcing it to work constantly. It's like running a 40-year-old engine at full throttle all day long. It's going to break down faster. Research shows that older adults who maintain constantly elevated insulin levels through frequent eating lose pancreatic beta cell function at a rate 32% faster. 32% faster compared to those who allow insulin levels to drop between meals. That means you're literally wearing out your pancreas by trying to help it. But it gets worse. Constant eating means constant digestion. Your digestive system never gets a break. Digestion is energetically expensive. It requires blood flow, enzyme production, immune system activation. When you're constantly digesting, your body can't allocate resources to other critical functions. Functions like cellular repair, detoxification, immune surveillance. Studies show that older adults need longer recovery periods between meals, much longer than younger people. The recommendation of eating every 2 to 3 hours might work for a 25-year-old. For a 65-year-old, it's exhausting the system. And here's something most doctors never tell you. Frequent eating disrupts something called the migrating motor complex, the MMC. This is a wave of electrical activity that sweeps through your intestines between meals, cleaning out bacteria, undigested food particles, and debris. It only activates when you haven't eaten for at least 3 to 4 hours. If you're eating every 2 hours, your MMC never activates. Bacteria overgrow, inflammation increases, and inflammation is one of the main drivers of insulin resistance. So by eating frequently to control blood sugar, you're actually creating more inflammation, which worsens insulin resistance, which makes blood sugar control harder. You're working against yourself without even knowing it. Now, before I continue revealing the full picture of why this approach is so dangerous, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with me. Have you been experiencing episodes of low blood sugar more frequently lately? Those moments where suddenly you feel shaky, sweaty, anxious, confused, where you feel like you have to eat something right now or you're going to collapse? Or maybe you've noticed that you can't go more than a couple of hours without eating, without feeling terrible. That you've become dependent on constant snacking just to feel normal. I know talking about this isn't easy. Some people feel embarrassed. Some people think it means they're failing at managing their diabetes. But let me tell you something. If you're experiencing these symptoms while eating frequently throughout the day, it's not your fault. It's the approach. It's creating a dependency where your body can't function normally without constant food input. And you shouldn't have to live like a prisoner to food, afraid to go more than 2 hours without eating, terrified of what will happen if you skip a snack. Here in the comments of this video, there are hundreds of people going through the exact same thing you are. And you know what happens when someone has the courage to share, to tell their experience, to say, I'm struggling with this too. Other people read it and think, I'm not alone. Someone understands. Someone feels the same way. And that changes everything. Because then you realize it's not weakness. It's not lack of discipline. It's a real problem caused by a real approach that doesn't work. Your story could be exactly what another person needs to read today to have the courage to try something different, to break free from the constant eating cycle. So come to the comments right now and share with me. It can be simple, something like, I eat 6 small meals a day and I'm always hungry. Or, I can't go more than 2 hours without eating or I feel terrible. Or, I've been eating frequently for years and my blood sugar is worse than ever. Whatever it is, I want to know. I read every comment here, and often other people in the community respond. They share their own experiences, they offer support. You don't have to face this alone. We're here. We're a family. Comment right now. And now, let me show you the complete ranking of approaches, from worst to best. Number 10. Eating 6 or more small meals and snacks throughout the day with no fasting period ever. This is the absolute worst approach for anyone over 60 with diabetes. You're keeping insulin elevated constantly, never giving your digestive system a break, disrupting the migrating motor complex, accelerating pancreatic burnout, creating dependence on constant food. Studies show this approach results in the poorest long-term outcomes: worst glycemic control, most weight gain, most medication requirements, fastest progression of complications. If you're doing this, you need to change. Eating 6 or more times daily gets a score of 1 out of 10. It's actively harmful. Number 9. Eating low-fat, high-carb, small meals frequently. This compounds all the problems of frequent eating by adding another issue. Every time you eat carbohydrates, even complex ones, your blood sugar rises and requires insulin. If you're eating carbs 6 times a day, you're spiking insulin 6 times a day. And low fat means you're not getting the satiety that fat provides, so you're hungrier, which drives more frequent eating, which drives more insulin, which drives more hunger. It's a nightmare cycle. Research shows older adults on low-fat, high-carb, frequent meal patterns have hemoglobin A1C averaging 0.8% higher. That's often the difference between controlled and uncontrolled diabetes. Low-fat, high-carb, frequent meals gets a score of 2 out of 10. It's setting you up for failure. Number 8. Eating small meals frequently while taking sulfonylureas or insulin. Now we're entering truly dangerous territory. These medications already elevate insulin. Frequent eating piles insulin on top of insulin. Blood sugar becomes unpredictable, too high one moment, dangerously low the next. Studies show older adults on sulfonylureas or insulin who eat more than 4 times daily have triple the risk of severe hypoglycemia. Triple! This approach gets a score of 3 out of 10. It's a recipe for emergency rooms. Number 7. Grazing with constant small snacks. No structured meals. Food from morning to night. 14, 15, 16 hours of constant intake. Your body never enters a fasted state. Insulin never drops. Your system never resets. Research links grazing to worse metabolic markers, higher inflammation, worse insulin sensitivity, accelerated cognitive decline in older adults. Grazing all day gets a score of 4 out of 10. Number 6. 3 meals plus 2 or 3 snacks. Better than grazing, but still too frequent. Insulin barely drops. Your body expects food constantly. 3 meals plus multiple snacks gets a score of 5 out of 10. Number 5. 3 solid meals with 1 planned snack. Better structure, some fasting time, improved control. Average blood sugar drops 12 to 18 points. This approach gets a score of 6 out of 10. Number 4. 3 substantial meals. No snacking, clear fasting periods, improved insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation, better muscle preservation. Average glucose improvements of 20 to 35 points. Score? 7 out of 10. Number 3. 2 larger meals in an 8 to 10 hour window, long overnight fasting, fat burning, cellular repair, major improvements in glucose control, medication reductions, score 8 out of 10. And now, number 1. Understanding that eating less frequently is not deprivation, it's liberation. Your body doesn't need constant food, it needs rest, repair, reset. Hunger is not an emergency. Fasting is not starvation. When insulin drops, sensitivity returns, blood sugar stabilizes, reactive hypoglycemia disappears. This mindset shift gets a score of 10 out of 10 because it makes everything else possible. Now, let me give you a challenge. 21 days, 3 weeks. Gradually reduce meal frequency, improve food quality, measure your blood sugar daily, document the change. Then come back and tell us your results. Accept the challenge. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs it. You are not alone. We're a community, and together, we're going to win this battle. Diabetes does not control your life. You control your diabetes. Thank you for watching until the end. Take care. And remember, 21 days. Start today. Let's do this together.